Welcome back, everybody. Now today we're going back to the 90s to check out an ASEAN TV product from the early days, and that is Ambervision. These were heavily advertised for years on television. I actually found an unopened box on eBay, so we're going to check it out in today's video. So the only thing I like more than ASEAN TV products are classic ASEAN TV products. I remember this one advertising for years. I never got them, but I actually found this on eBay, unopened box. It's been sealed for years. So what I'm going to do is crack this open and head outside and give them a shot. Before I crack this open, let's take a look at the box. America's #1 sunglasses, lifetime replacement guarantee. Now this was Telebrands, which is now bulb head, so I wonder if my lifetime guarantee would actually still work. Protect your eyes from harmful UV and blue rays. Ultimate protection for your eyes, and the classic ASEAN TV logo. A lot of information on the back here. That's quite a bit. It's funny, because they're not really the greatest looking glasses. It even says, don't be fooled by the appearance of these glasses. These are not ordinary sunglasses. They may look like high fashion sunglasses. They're trying to say these look like high fashion sunglasses. The closest thing I have to this came in a Halloween costume I got to be Zach Galifianakis from The Hangover. That's the closest I have to these. Do I have them still? Let me see. Yeah, these are my Zach Galifianakis Halloween costume glasses. They're not far off, honestly. Was this high fashion in the 90s? I don't know. In fact, they were designed after some of the most expensive brand names in the market today, Porsche, Carrera, etc. But they're actually the latest breakthrough in sunglass technology. So after reading this novel on the back of the box, they seem to be saying that because it has UV protection that there's some sort of revolutionary glasses. Maybe it was in the 90s, I don't know. Not revolutionary now. But let's finally get to the good stuff. Let's open it up. Oh, got 90s air wafting through here. There we go. Oh, it says designer case. I can't wait for that. Wow, this card looks like it came from the 70s. Look at this. The first sunglasses with a lifetime guarantee. Is it really? Basically, if you break them, even if it's your fault, you got to send $250 and they'll give you a new pair of glasses. All right, that's nothing else in there. Here's their designer case. Is that a designer case? What do you think? Oh, here we go. Oh, it looks like it's almost yellowed over the years. Has it yellowed over the years? I don't know. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm just looking at the tint. Oh, maybe I think it actually is yellowed. Ah. Once again, these are not ordinary sunglasses. I think I need a microscope to read that, though. I can't even read that. All right, let's get these out of here. Honestly, they're not as cheap feeling as I thought the frame feels kind of decent. Looks like it's lined up pretty well. Sometimes they're all crooked. I mean, the quality actually is better, way better than I thought. I had low expectations, but the frames are metal. Well, at least part of the frame's metal. Let's see. I feel like I should be on the ski slopes with these. Will this hold up now? I don't know. In 2021, will these fly? We're going to go out and find out. So let's head outside and see how the Ambervision glasses actually work outdoors. It was about 4 or 5 years ago I actually bought a Halloween costume because I wanted to be Alan from The Hangover. The Halloween costume came with these glasses, this shirt, a wig, I think, and a fake beard, which I didn't need. I needed the wig, but not the fake beard. And also a fake baby that would go over your chest like a papoose. The only things I have left from that costume are these glasses and this shirt. But as soon as I saw the Ambervision, it made me remember the Alan costume, and actually that I think Alan was supposed to be wearing the Ambervision glasses. So these are the Halloween costume version of the Ambervision glasses. It doesn't look that bad, really. I mean, it doesn't look that bad from my perspective. Maybe from yours it might. Let me switch over to the actual Ambervision and take a look. All right, well, I'm happy to report that the real Ambervision do actually look considerably better than the Halloween costume version. And honestly, it looks pretty good. I mean, everything looks very clear. I mean, I have a lot of sunglasses. I have an inordinate amount of sunglasses. I have a sunglasses holder that's full and it holds 25 sunglasses. So not that I'm an expert on sunglasses, but I do have a lot of them. As expected, everything has a sort of amber tint to it, and it's gradiated. So when you look from the top to the bottom, it does change. And I'll take these off and I'll show you through the camera what I'm seeing. But I was going to also point out that I read an interview from 2011 with the CEO of Telebrands. Telebrands are the ones that put out the Ambervision glasses. And he said that from the late 80s to the early 90s, they sold 15 million of these. Were there 15 million people walking around with Ambervision glasses? I can't believe it. The commercial for these are on YouTube. I think the one on YouTube is probably from the late 80s. I think it started around 86 or so, and I think it ran into the 90s. I think after that they were supplanted by the blue blockers, which maybe I'll get to one of these days as well. Am I the only one who still remembers that rap from the blue blockers commercials? But I digress. Now what's funny though is I posted on my YouTube story me wearing these, and I asked for people's honest opinions about it. And it's weird, but I expected nothing but ridicule, but I would say it was a good 50-50 of people saying they look good versus people that said they look terrible. So my theory is that I'm old enough to remember when these were in style in the 80s, so to me, it's a style that's kind of gone out. But then you have guys out there like The Weeknd that are wearing these kind of retro type glasses, so maybe some of the younger viewers see this as more of kind of a retro style. So that's the only thing I can really say to explain it. It's kind of like in the 80s. You didn't walk around wearing bell bottoms in the 80s. If you walked around in the 80s wearing bell bottoms, you were horribly out of style. Things kind of come around, and I get maybe the Ambervision is going to come back around. Maybe they should bring them back. Maybe they should bring them back. If so, we should all contact Telebrands and tell them we want the Ambervision back. You know, as I drive around, actually, I have to admit they're pretty good sunglasses. Now, you can debate whether they're a cool retro style or if they're horribly out of date. But just to wear them as sunglasses, they actually have a very appealing look to them. I don't know if they're polarized. I'm gonna pull out one of my polarization cards at home and check that out. But I feel like I'm wearing a Halloween costume. Between these glasses and this shirt, I feel like I'm just dressed as Alan from The Hangover. So Brandon.
So Dad.
What do you think about these glasses? Give me your honest opinion. Honest opinion.
They're a bit big.
A little large.
They're a bit large.
I mean, that could be considered kind of, kind of glam looking, I guess.
I suppose so.
Why don't you try them on and see how they look as sunglasses?
Okay, sure.
All right. Hey, Bran.
Hey, Dad.
What do you think about the glasses when you're wearing them?
They work pretty well.
They actually work pretty well, don't they?
My entire vision is just shaded out.
Would you wear these in public?
Probably not.
Okay.
These aren't for me.
We'll get some other opinions, see what they say.
All right.
Thanks, Bran.
No problem.
All right, let's look at my weed-infested backyard here. And here's what it looks like. You can see the top is darker, and it goes to a little bit different shade of amber tint. So when you're wearing your glasses, that's kind of it. That's kind of what you see. And if you look down toward the bottom, it's lighter. Toward the top is darker. Now, standing in direct sunlight, it's pretty good. I mean, I guess for the 80s, these are pretty good glasses. I can't say I remember the sunglasses I had in the 80s that well, but I'm sure that they weren't any better than this. So, maybe these were actually pretty good for their day. Maybe Alan from The Hangover was onto something. Hey, Cathy.
Yes, James.
Honest opinion, what you think about these glasses? Honest opinion. I'm not having an agenda for you to like them or not like them.
I like ants. Like
ants.
Ant eye, like bug eyes.
All right, so would you like to try these on and see how they look from your perspective?
Sure.
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
All right.
Those are.
They're very amber, aren't they?
Yeah, because the sun's not hard, but it's still bright.
These were sold in the 80s and the 90s.
I don't remember them at all.
In fact, when I started the video, I said we're going back to the 90s. We're actually going back to 80s and 90s because they started off, I think, in 86. I was mistaken. I thought it was just 90s. So they started as early as 86 and went into the mid-90s. They're so out of style that they're in style again.
Yes.
Some people think these are in style, but
everything 90s is back right now.
I guess. If you saw it go out of style, it's hard to re-grasp it,
Right.
I should point out that last segment was assisted by my friend Cathy, the 2-cent chick who was in Vegas, and I asked her to help me out with her opinion on the Ambervision glasses. I'll put a link to our channel in the description below. I have this card here that comes, actually I think it came with the tech glasses. Yeah, it did, look, tech glasses. But it looks silver until you put polarized sunglasses in front of it, and then it'll have color to it. Like these are the tech glasses blue. And as you can see, there is color now. So these are definitely polarized glasses. Let's try the Ambervision. And for the big test. Oh, they're not polarized. So they are not polarized. Oh well. All right, well, this was actually pretty fun to try out. I love trying out the old classic SCN TV products. Now, there doesn't seem to be any clear consensus as far as whether these look good or not, but there is a pretty good consensus that they look good from the wearer's perspective. They're actually really good lenses. Everything's bright, there's a pleasant amber tint to it. If they were selling these today in different lenses, I'd probably recommend them. I mean, I can't recommend these because they don't sell them anymore. They were originally sold for 10 bucks, which if you convert 1990-ish dollars to $21, that's about 20 bucks. I don't think that's a really bad price for it, so maybe this wasn't a bad product after all. I've always thought Ambervision was kind of a goofy ASEAN TV glasses. Maybe not. Maybe they are actually better than I thought they were. But that's all I've got. If you ever tried the Ambervision glasses back in the 80s and 90s, let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you think they look good in 2021, I want to know that as well. So I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.